I am the firstborn daughter, the one they lean on, the first star in the horizon. I am the waymaker, the game changer, and the genesis. They named me a yarrow, the one who paves way. I am the light in my father's proud eyes. I just don't know if he still sees me, but I was everything he told me I was until sickness stole his strength. He, once strong as a walking stick, became fragile, his laughter fading into silence. That's when the world shifted, and the weight of it all fell on me like a collapsing roof, its timber and tiles pressing against my spine. Grief wrapped around me like iron chains, cold and yielding, every link forged from the unspoken lessons he left undone. I heard the whispers rise like smoke. She did it, they said about my mother. She killed her husband for greed. Their words were knives cutting through her love. Her sleepless nights at his bedside, her prayers whispered to the heavens. Those words crushed her like waves of bricks, each syllable slamming into her chest, leaving her breathless and broken beneath their weight. But I had no time for their venom. I focused on my sick dad, pleading with him to keep breathing. I prayed every prayer that I knew, hoping that God would open a door for university education, and God did answer. Campus was my distant star, farther than the horizon, yet I chased it with a blistered heart and a broken soul. My father was not getting better either, but I attended all my lectures, prayed daily, and spent an hour each day to give my dad a reason to fight on. I tried any small-scale businesses that I landed my hands on, took on any gigs to support my siblings. Every coin earned was a step forward. I smiled on calls that should have made me cry. I just had to be strong for my dad. Then came the call. My father's fight had ended. A quiet surrender to the storm he never let us see. No goodbyes, no final words to hold on to, just the silence that followed his absence like an unfinished sentence left hanging in the air. We had hope. Oh, how we had hoped that these weary breaths would catch the morning light, that time would mend his body like a fractured branch, but instead he slipped away like the last spark in the dying fire, leaving only smoke to sting our eyes and a hollow warmth where he once stood. I returned to find our home heavier than before, darkened by grief and accusation. She killed him, our relatives murmured, pointing at my mother, her back bent under their lies, but I stood tall, carrying her innocence in my heart. I buried my tears and worked harder, turning my pain into purpose. Each lecture I attended became a battle won. Each exam passed a defiance against defeat. Grief became my fuel, and I burned brighter than the storm. The day I graduated, I stood on that stage with trembling hands, my cape tilted like a crown. I looked to the heavens, hoping my father could see his first degree come true. And as my siblings cheered in the crowd, their voices bright, my heart ached with his absence, and fear arose as I waited for what life had to offer. With my first paycheck, I returned home. My mother, weary but waiting, looked at me with eyes that still held hope. "Let's rebuild," I said, and we did. Brick by brick, dream by dream, I pay my siblings' fees, turning their tears into smiles. I face the gossipers with quiet strength, their words powerless now, their scorn fading into silence. I became more than they ever expected. The girl who carried a family on her back, the woman who turned loss into triumph. Through fire and doubt, I found my path, forging a legacy built on resilience. I am the storm that didn't break, the flame that refused to dim. This is my story, written with pain, carved by struggle, but crowned with strength. This is the hustle within.